This year represents a milestone for the American Chamber of Commerce in celebrating 50 years of supporting US investment in Ireland. Ireland has always enjoyed the strongest of relationships with the United States, but nowhere is this more evident than in the economic relationship that exists between our two countries. When the American Chamber was launched in the Gresham Hotel on the 10th of January in 1961, the US ambassador to Ireland at that time, Mr. Scott MacLeod, said, "American firms desiring to do business in Europe are bound to look at Ireland," and that he had every confidence that great progress could be made. Well, 50 years on, the latest figures from the Department of Commerce confirm that US investment now exceeds $165 billion. That is more than the combined investment that US companies have made in Brazil, Russia, India, and China. The American Chamber of Commerce represents over 600 US companies who directly employ over 100,000 people, support tens of thousands of jobs in Irish industry, and export in excess of $90 billion in goods and services around the world each year. Indeed, US companies now account for 20% of Ireland's total economic output. And this is by no means a one-way street. Irish companies have invested over $35 billion in the United States and employ over 82,000 people. The American Chamber was established during the Lamas era, when the first program for economic expansion was adopted as government policy. Tax breaks and grants were provided to foreign firms wishing to set up, and this prompted a wave of investment into the country from companies such as IBM and Squibb. They were both inaugural members of the American Chamber, and other pioneering companies such as Pan Am, TWA, Citibank, Abbott, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Baxter. The economic development of the 60s is captured by the now iconic image of Sean Lamas on the front cover of Time magazine, proclaiming a new spirit on the old sod. The 1980s saw the coming of age of the computer era, and very quickly Ireland established itself as a location for manufacturing of technology products for companies such as Wang, Amdahl, 3M, Apple. And in 1985, Microsoft set up in Ireland with 150 people. Throughout the 80s, the IDA began to target international services, and the establishment of the IFSC attracted companies like Chase, AIG, and Citicorp. And this proved such a success that today half of the world's top banks, including State Street, JP Morgan, Bank of New York Mellon, Northern Trust, and Bank of America, have significant operations here in Ireland. On into the 90s, and Ireland continued to benefit from the growth of foreign direct investment and the globalization of these companies around the globe. As a result, high-tech brand names such as Intel, Hewlett-Packard, Dell, Oracle, EMC, Symantec, Cook Medical, Boston Scientific, Medtronic, all flooded into the country. Ireland was truly established as the jewel in the crown for foreign direct investment because of our favourable corporate taxation policies, the abundance of a very highly educated, flexible young workforce, full access to the European Union, and a very pro-business environment in which multinationals were able to flourish and grow their investments here. In the noughties, the nature and the depth of foreign direct investment began to transform. Traditional assembly line jobs filtered out of the country, and research, development, and innovation, and very, very advanced frontline manufacturing has become the bedrock of investment here in Ireland. Ireland has also been very successful in attracting a new wave of international services and digital media investment, and companies such as Primerica, Google, Facebook, eBay, PayPal, AOL, LinkedIn, all have very successful European and worldwide operations here in Ireland and represent the most vibrant and modern element of the Irish economy today. And even in the last 12 months, amongst all of the doom and the gloom that we are constantly reading and constantly hearing, over 126 new investments and 11,000 jobs have been announced by the IDA. 3/4 of those have come from the United States, and many of those companies are here in the room with us tonight. In the IT sector, HP are adding jobs. IBM have announced their Smart City initiative. Google are creating 200 jobs in a new operations service centre. Stream Global Services are adding 400 jobs to support a major contract with Microsoft, and Intel have just announced a major investment in their Leixlip plant. In the pharmaceutical sector, Merck Sharp and Dohme, Covidien, Hollister, GE Health, all have announced expansions, and medical technology companies such as Merit Medical are establishing a new European headquarters in Galway. International services companies Kellogg's, Accenture, United Health, they continue to invest, as does Citi and Fidelity in the financial sector. We've also seen significant investments from new companies establishing international headquarters in Ireland, such as LinkedIn, EA Games, Webroot, Otterbox, Dun & Bradstreet, Warner and Chilcott. And even in the first 6 weeks of 2011, US investment continues to grow in Ireland, with announcements from Quest Software in Cork, Allegan over in Mayo, and just this week we had announcements from PayPal, Fidelity and American Medical Systems. US companies have a huge amount to contribute to Ireland over the coming years. Global foreign direct investment is predicted to grow by 30% by 2012. And given the magnificent base of companies that we have here, this brings significant opportunities for future investment. It is really, really important that we recognise and we celebrate the success of all of our member companies in winning jobs and winning investment for Ireland, which, ladies and gentlemen, is what tonight is all about. In celebrating our 50th anniversary, we celebrate the success of every one of our member companies around the country. Thank you.